All right, I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Recha Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one pretty much is various topics, dated April 21st, 2025, the hopeful year of our deliverance and the destruction and judgment of Esau. Pretty much, woke up to good news, very good news. ODB, another ODB bites the dust. Pope Francis, keels over the morning after, the Easter celebration. Now, we were watching Elder Pastor's video earlier, and pretty much, he said that the Pope made a statement, and he said for us to fact check it. So I did, went online and found out that he did say, which I knew he did, but I wanted to check it anyway. And he said, I didn't hear him say it per se, but I saw it, on the Google, and he said Bono Pasca, and Bono, which is really good, and Pasca, you have Pasca in the Greek, but you also have Pasca in the Latin, which is the Greek and Latin translation of the Hebrew word Pesach, which means Passover. But in the King James Bible, it has the word Easter there. All right. And after he gives that sermon, right, on so-called Easter, the very next day, he just dropped dead. And he was ready anyway. So now what they're going to have, you want to say something?
No.
And what you're going to have now is they're going to shut all those freaks, cardinals and everything, away in the Vatican in some room called the conclave, which the word conclave means with the key. And pretty much they're not going to come out of there until they name the new pope, which they already knew who it was going to be anyway. But see, it's not the new pope who you have to look for. It's really the black pope. The black pope is the real, power or authority behind the Roman Catholic Church. I forgot the name of the last dude, was Nicholas something, I believe it was. You had a few of them. So I'm not sure if they still have the same dude around or if it's a new guy. I will have to go and look into that, fact check that, see who the new black pope is. But nevertheless, he's back in the spirit world. You had a precept?
No.
Okay. No worries.
Well, I'll go. You know what? I'll go to. I had one in mind because it's ironic that so-called pass on their celebration, their so-called which is all filled with occultic, symbolic, esoteric, left-hand wisdom and knowledge. To use at certain depths on certain days to invoke spirits.
Yeah.
This 2 Corinthians 2:11 said, at least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Beautiful.
And this is all part of, because they use sacrifices to, basically forward their agenda. And the Pope was a heavy demonic individual.
Yep.
Within their, so-called illuminated, secret society. So they use his sacrifice, but it's all going to come to naught. We're going to go across the street.
Okay.
And we're not ignorant of none of those things like the apostles going into. They about to go into the conclave and do some demonic freaky shit.
Yep.
And come out with the new dope.
Yep.
Right? In order to keep that witchcraft upon the people.
Yeah.
And people are going to be mourning. They're gonna push more enchantments. This is a time for them to cast it's really a distraction.
Yeah.
It's really being used as a distraction because there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes.
Right. That the average person doesn't know. Now in Ecclesiasticus, the 5th chapter. Matter of fact, we could get that. Ecclesiasticus 5:15 says, you brought out 2 Corinthians 2:11. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. See, we, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Shai, our eyes are open to what's really going on. You know, so read that.
Yep. This is Ecclesiasticus 5:15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small.
Right, and that's why we check different things, because all of these things that's going on, you know, we know that all the things that are going on, we know that it's all, you know, used and set up, you know, for the times that are coming, you know, to usher in the end. Now, when you go to, I'm not sure if you have something, bring it out. When you go to Lord's will after he gets this precept, when you go to, I believe that is in Revelation, the 19th chapter, you know, where it speaks about, you know,
The false prophet.
the false
Okay,
prophet.
I was literally going there.
That's where you're going? Okay, good, beautiful. You know, that they when they go down, they're going to be pretty much, you know, cast into the lake of fire, and because their whole aura and their whole being is all based upon deception, you know, and that's how they got the people, you know, pretty much in a witchcraft trance or spell.
Yeah, this is Revelation 19:20, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet.
Beautiful. The false prophet, the beast, is EU and NATO. Okay, the beast, let me repeat that again. The beast is EU and NATO. Russia has nothing to do with the beast. The only thing that Russia has to do with the beast is going to be the one to destroy them. So the beast is the EU and NATO. America is a part of that conglomeration, right? Then you have what said the false prophet. Now, who is the false prophet? The false prophet is the Roman Catholic Church. Because if you really look into the modern day religions of America, in some way, shape, form, or other, they all connect back to the Roman Catholic Church. That is the mother of all of these different, you know, so-called Christian church denominations, including Islam. Yes, I said it, including Islam. That was set up by the Roman Catholic Church, but it backfired on them. All right, so go ahead.
Yeah, it says, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him. With which
that wrought miracles before him. Now, what are these miracles? That's all of the deception that they're pushing out there, you know. And you know what? Here it is. You're supposed to have the that's supposed to be the spiritual version, right, or the spiritual aspect of their kingdom, but yet they're in league with the economic and the political systems of this world, which according to them is supposed to be corrupt, right? But they're corrupt also.
And also, they have a negative stigma placed upon them because they, you know, they basically deal with little boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so many words. I don't want to, you know, come out. You know, they'll take the video down.
Yeah,
but
PDF files.
Yeah, the PDF files. They're when you think about the Catholic Church, you think about PDF files.
Yep.
You know, and there's been several cases. I mean, it's really an epidemic.
Oh yes.
You know,
many,
but
many.
they have power to push it off.
Oh yep.
And for you not to come, they have power to silence your speech against them.
That's it.
Okay, but the judgment is still coming.
Yeah.
All right, starting with the prophets of Yahweh Shai that's condemning the false prophet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have something called crimen solicitationem, you know, which is, you know, for lack of better words, a program or a law among them to where pretty much they're keeping all that shit that's happening under wraps. I mean, I would have to go back, you know, because Bishop Tazadakba is the expert on that, you know. And he's done videos on it before. And pretty much what they do is instead of locking the dude up that's committing these crimes, they just ship him off to another district, you know?
And that's part of his miracles.
Yep.
Because here it is, he's actually doing it right in front of you, but he has the power to deceive you and to think that everything is okay by shipping them off somewhere else, by suppressing the information and keeping the people still worshiping him.
Yep.
They literally fall out for the Pope and bow down and kiss him.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you have these individuals that willingly give their children up to be sacrificed.
Oh yeah.
Unto that religion.
Yep. Roman Catholic, the altar boys and
Yep.
many other things. Go ahead.
It says, with which he deceived them that have received the mark of the beast.
Right, which deceived them. So see, so you have the three. Matter of fact, yep. You have you know the three major power sources of the world, which would be their economic basis, which is out of London city state. You have their military power that comes from America, out of the Pentagon, and then you have the spiritual, so-called spiritual side of them, which is called the Vatican. And it's not a coincidence that the Vatican, when you break it down, the word Vatican means prophets of the, how does it go? It's prophets of the serpent.
Yeah.
It's prophets of the serpent. And when you go into the Vatican, they have a room that shows you like a head of a cobra or some shit like that, or some type of venomous
snake eyes.
Right.
Like the way that the architecture was, you know, the way that they formed the building. When you look at it from a particular angle, you can see it's shaped in a serpent's head with the eyes, showing you that they understand that they come in the spirit of the serpent.
Yeah, it's
all deception. Okay.
Yep, that's the prophets of the serpent, because the word vati goes back to the Latin vates. The Latin word vates is prophet, and then kan at the end is the Mayan word for serpent. So prophets of the serpent. Oh, you just made that up. So why the fuck they got that image of that serpent? And these devils, they know, man. But they know that the people, they got most of the people in such a slumber that they're not aware of what's going on.
Yeah, they willingly deceive. So Esau, he understands. He's willingly deceiving the people.
Yep.
They know exactly what they're doing. They know they come in the spirit of Satan. They don't believe they come in the spirit of a righteous power. All right, let me. This is Revelation 16 and 13. And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon.
Yeah, the dragon is the Roman Empire, which today you could say double down is America and their conglomerates.
It says, and out of the mouth of the beast.
The beast is EU and NATO, which joined with the dragon, the Roman, the revival of the Roman Empire, which the head of it is America.
And out of the mouth of the false prophet.
And out of the mouth of the false prophet, which is the Roman Catholic Church. So you have the three city states. You have the Pentagon, which is the military power. You have the City of London, which is the financial power. And you have the Vatican, which is the so-called spiritual power.
Yep. Verse
and they called them the three unclean spirits like frogs. If you look at the dietary law, frogs are not lawful to eat. You know, and then whenever you see like frogs, this shit is really demonic. You know, you know when you go, I'm not sure if that was the exorcism that the elder, I believe the elder pastor was there at that exorcism. I believe he was. You know, when they did the exorcism, I'm not sure exactly where in New York. And they, you know, they went from floor to floor, and they were finding different things. They were finding horseshoes, and I believe one of the things they found was a frog, like a. If I'm not mistaken, you know, if my memory serves me, I mean, I haven't heard that history in a while, so if I'm off on it, Abakasha, forgive me, you know, but I believe one of the things was a frog. But if you have a home and your home is possessed with demons, and you got frog figurines and shit like that, get rid of that shit.
Yep. Yep.
You know, because that shit is demonic. You looking for something?
No, I'm gonna read the next verse. Make a left.
Right here. Let me come over here. Go ahead.
Make a right. It says, verse 14, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles.
Right, they are the spirits of devils working miracles, and that's the point. You know, and the miracles, you know, right now you see the miracles dealing with their technology. You know, you have, I believe I'm not sure if that was Japan or China. I believe it might have been Japan, where they have the first man, so-called Japanese man, that either he was blind or he couldn't walk, and they pretty much, I don't remember all the details, but they plugged him up, and he has some kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to use the word update, but he's was put together, so to speak, with the technology of today, and he's able to walk. It was either walking or seeing. I believe it was walking. So that's a miracle that these devils have, and this is going to be one of the ways they're going to deceive people into receiving the MOTB in the forehead, by reason of people that have debilitating diseases,
neurological diseases.
There's another one, when you start to decay. I can't think of the name right now, but you get the idea. People there you go, degenerative diseases.
Yep.
And they're able to reverse that by plugging all of these artificial things into your body to be able to walk or to be able to see. They're saying that they tapped into something where they can make people see now. They could do an operation in your eyes so you could see. So all of these things are becoming somewhat of a miraculous thing to the world. And this is a way of deception, to pull you away from the Most High. Like I believe it was Stevie Wonder, they asked him if they were able to, have him to see, would he want that? And he said no, because he said he figured if he was able to see, he would lose his gift of music. You have something?
Yeah, let me just finish that verse.
Go ahead.
It says, "For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of the Most High Almighty."
Right, and what they don't understand is all of these things that they're doing to set up the world for this new world order, the micro C-HIP, the new economic system, the new economic reset. They don't understand that all that they're doing by these tariffs and all that, eventually it's going to backfire on them, because it's all set up for prophecy. Because when you examine the word Armageddon, there in the New Testament, it's in the Greek, I believe it's Armageddon, which goes back to the Hebrew Har Magadwan. Har is mountain, God is troop, where you get the name Gad from. Ma is other from, and then the one at the end makes it plural. So Har Magadwan is the mountain of the troops, and that's what the Lord is amassing over there, or in what they call the Middle East today. All of these different troops, military troops over there for this final battle. And when World War III starts, which is the third woe, then you're going to have Yahushai. Eventually Yahushai, Michael the Archangel, and the other angels are going to come out of the fourth dimension and fight with Esau and the nations and take them out. That's the battle of Armageddon. Not no righteous angels and wicked angels fighting in the heavens, and then the wicked angels rebelled against the Most High. They were scheming against him, and Satan was the head of that, and he kept whispering in the ears of other angels, and simple angels that wasn't on point, and that were tired of being servants to the Lord. They sided with him.
Yeah, they wanted freedom.
They wanted freedom, right? And then they found the right moment to mutiny, against the Lord, and then the Lord found out about it and kicked them out of heaven. And you have a whole host of Greek mythology and other mythologies surrounding that.
Fables.
Yep.
Ultimately.
That's it.
And the evil angels is really Esau.
Yeah.
They're the evil angels, but they don't want you to know that.
Right.
That's why they have to deceive you, and that's why the Pope, Catholicism, that's why that was set up, which means what? Universal.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Because
and what does universal mean? To turn into one.
Turn into one.
Uni, one, versal, verse, to turn.
And this is why they're going to be used. Well, like you were saying, Islam is part really of the false prophet.
Yep.
Because they control Islam. That's why they're okay with Jake going to Islam, because it's just another form of sun worship or moon worship.
Moon worship, yeah.
It's just another form of left hand, because Esau worshipped the sun and the moon.
Yeah.
So it don't matter. Okay, you don't want to worship the sun, you worship the moon. That's okay.
Yeah, you don't want to worship neither that. Well, worship me.
And he's going to do that through his technology. And he's going to deceive many into basically just all out rebellion against the Most High and worshiping him through this MOTB system.
Right.
I can finish
Yep.
this Revelation 19:20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet. We go this way.
Okay.
That wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image.
Right.
These both were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone.
Right, and that image is the revival of the Roman system, the ancient Roman system, which in today's terms, that ancient Roman system, which was revived through America after the Renaissance period, or during the Renaissance period, you know, today they're using America as they call the New World to bring in the New World Order. You know, because the revival of the ancient Roman Empire, or of that beast that had a wound by a sword and did live, you know, when they came back into power, their whole agenda was to gather the world as one. This is why on the soils of America, you know, even though they call it international land, you have what's known as the United Nations. The United Nations, the land that is standing upon, was given to them forget what it's called, donated to them by, I believe that was David Rockefeller, you know, who owned that parcel of land. You know, so why is the United Nations building set up in America? Because America is the capital. You know, that great harlot, or the great Babylon the Great, you know, who controls all of these other nations. You see, with which they're using to establish and set up what's known as the New World Order.
Yeah, that was it on that.
All right.
To go into something else?
Yeah, so to make it long story short, you know, the Pope he's gone. He's fugazi. You know, he was fake to begin with. He's out of here. You know, he said Bono Pascha, you know, which is Happy Easter, which that's what they translated as. We know is good Passover, you know, and that's that. Now, on the other hand, you know, women in general, you know, you see this, what's going on. You know, these women, you know, are pretty much out of control, especially our women, beginning with the Judite woman, the so-called Negro woman, to the Latino woman, to the Native American Indian woman, out of control. And the majority of these funky ass hoes here in America are going to be destroyed, totally annihilated. You know, give me Amos. Matter of fact, start at do Zechariah 13 and 8. And then we'll go to Amos 9 and 8.
Yes. This is Zechariah 13 and 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die.
Right, so what are the 2 parts therein? That's 2/3 of the nation of Israel. So those of you new members that always wonder why we use the term 2/3 to refer to these wicked Israelites that are going to be destroyed, Zechariah 13 and 8 is a scripture that we go to because the Lord in this land known as America, 2/3 of the nation of Israel are going to be cut off and die. And the majority of those are going to be women, the women of our nation. They're going to be totally annihilated, you know, totally taken out. Because these hoes, as the elder pastor was doing the video, they're totally out of control. And not just are they totally out of control, but they have all type of fucking diseases. You know, all manner of diseases. And the reason why they have all those diseases is because they're promiscuous. Because this society pushes promiscuity. And that's why you had Rockefeller and them set up, you know, women's lib, you know, feminism, you know, to so-called freedom of the woman. Because at one time, women were more in order than they are today. Women have always been wicked. All wickedness is belittled to the wickedness of a woman. But in today's standards, these women are totally off the motherfucking chain. You know? So the Lord is going to annihilate the majority of you Israelite women out here. And when I say Israelite women, I'm talking about you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian women that just ain't fucking right. You're just a bunch of sluts, cum deposits, cum buckets, scumbag, lowlifes. And don't get me wrong, a lot of you Israelite men are going to be destroyed too. But we're dealing with these funky ass women. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says, but the third shall be left therein.
Right, but 1/3 is going to be left therein. And when you look at the percentage, 100%, you look at the percentage of 2/3 to 1/3, the 1/3 is 33.3%. The 2/3 is 66.6%, which goes back to 666, the number. And that's what the Lord said, he's going to number them to the sword. You see?
Yeah, it says, and I will bring the third part through the fire.
Right, the third part through the fire, meaning through the tribulations, but also when the end comes, the elect are going to be beamed up into the chariots. So they're going to see the destruction, of Esau. They're going to see the destruction of this country, and they're also going to see, their deliverance. Go ahead.
And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. Yep. It says, Salakia, and they shall call upon my name.
Woo, not the name.
And I will hear them. I will say, it is my people. And they shall say, the Lord is my power.
That's right. And that's the 1/3, which consists of men, women, and children. And those Israelites that are part of the elect, they're going to call upon and trust upon the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Those names are very important to know, especially in these times. If you don't have those names, you don't have an opening to the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And even if you know those names and you're not part of the elect, you still don't have an opening to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because Yahushai said he has the keys, to unlock it or to lock it.
Yep.
So go to Amos 9 and 8. And if you have anything, if you want to start.
We're going to start looping back.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, this is Amos 9, verse 8. It says, behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom.
Right, and the sinful kingdom today would be America. Back then, it was dealing with Israel, the Israelites. All right, it was dealing with the land of Israel. Right, that was I'll read that again.
Yeah, it says, behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom.
That was a sinful kingdom at one time. Today it's transferred to here, because everything that we suffered now is going to affect Esau and the nations. Now the people that are in power today are the Edomites. So it's going to directly affect them first.
And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth.
And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, because this whole place here, because the land of Israel wasn't destroyed from off the face of the earth, but it was destructured in the sense of the land is polluted. The Israelites are not really there. You do have some Israelites there now, but the Israelites as a whole, as a nation, are pretty much gone off that land, So this land here, the Lord is going to totally destroy it from off the face of the earth, meaning there will never be any civilization, anything ever established ever in America once the Lord destroys this place. Because they
I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, says
right.
the Lord.
Then that's what? That's the elect. He will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob. Why? Because the Lord left a remnant because he puts his word above his name. So he's not going to break his word, not even for his great name's sake. That's what that scripture means. But these clowns at the IUIC say that it means that the law is over the Most High's name. No, the word of his word, he's not going to break it, not even for his great name's sake. But anyways, read on.
Yep. It says,
unless you have something.
For lo, I got something.
Yeah, bring
it's
it up.
Isaiah 32 and 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease.
Oh, you know what? But before you read that, read verse 9, and then we'll jump right into that. It's going to set it up.
Verse 9, Amos 9 and 9. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. Like as corn is sifted in a sieve.
And we see that going on right now. The Lord's gathering the Israelites, the elect, and he going to cast out the rest. Go ahead.
Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
Right. Go ahead.
It says,
because the elect are going to be saved. And the Lord is going to save all Israel eventually in the kingdom. It goes into a whole lot more than that, but we just, in the interest of time.
It says, verse 10, All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword.
And that's the point. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. And the majority of them is going to be women. These Israelite women here in America. Right?
Yep. Would say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us.
Right, because they think they're going to be able to continue forever. You see them talking shit. You see the degenerate, fucking just evil, wicked, animalistic, beastly state that Jake is in. You know, it's something that has been, embedded in them. You know, it's something that has been programmed in them. You know, there's a factory line of men and women, you know, so-called black and men and women that have been programmed to be the way that they are.
Yep.
You know, and it's not going to change until the Lord destroys this place.
Yeah, especially these women, they have, they have Esau on dial. You know, they can call 911. Yep. You know, they can, these people fucked out.
Yeah. That's how we'll maneuver through.
They can call 911. They can, be protected in society.
Yep.
These cities are set up for them to feel comforted and safe. But see, now the system is imploding.
Yep.
And you can see now that contract that the serpent had with Eve, he's disannulling that contract. Really, it's the Most High.
Yep.
You know, the Lord is now bringing judgment upon our people. Okay?
Yep. He's pulling back like he always did.
Yep.
He already used you to destroy the nation. He don't need you no more. Now he's pulling back all those goodies. That contract, you know, remember you said you was going to take care of me if I did whatever you wanted? And didn't I take care of you, my child? You know, right? But now he don't need you no more. So he's going to discard you like the skanky ass hoe that you are.
That's it.
You know? He going because you women will do anything to save your skanky ass hide.
Oh yeah. And when and a lot of it's going to be like poetic justice too.
Yep.
Because a lot of these women that done brothers bad or looked the other way or had some demonic thoughts, you know, whatever it may be.
Yep.
They're gonna try to run up. They're gonna run up to the men of the Lord.
Oh yeah.
And you might like her. She might, be, look good, but the Spirit of the Lord is gonna jump on you to basically curse the bitch out and deny her.
Yep.
Now go out there. No, go have Esau save you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go back out there. Aren't you a strong, independent woman?
Yep.
You know, can't you fight your way out? You know, jujitsu and all that, right?
Go back to your lover.
And that's gonna be go back to your lover, and that's gonna be part of your judgment. The Most High is gonna deny you as you are denying His servants on the earth.
That's it.
So it's gonna be a real, and that's gonna be terrible.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's gonna be terrible for you women. This is Isaiah 32:9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters.
Yep.
Give ear unto my speech. It says, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease.
Right. So you're going from that ease and that comfort that you've been in, you know, you're going to be in a position of difficulty now. You're going to be in straits because you don't know what it is to really suffer, because all that suffering was really put on the Jake man and the other men of the other tribes, but mainly beginning with the so-called Negro man. you know, so all that hardship that you've put upon, you know, Jake, come on, man, fucking, you know, go ahead. Satan just don't want this to go up.
Yeah, you already know. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins.
Yeah, because you're not ready to suffer. You're not built like that. You know, this society, you know, at one time you were built like that during the time of slavery, you know, during the time, of the, Jim Crow laws and all that. You were built different. Today, you've left off the hardship and got into that comfort zone. But the Jake man, he's still been dealing with the fucking hardship from all the way back then till now. So you're not built like that. So when all those goodies and all that, those comforts are taken from you, you're gonna lose it.
Well, and you've been in comfort while the Jake man's been suffering, and you further his affliction.
Yep.
You oppressed him. you oppress them even more. You know, you added to the affliction of Esau and the heathen nations.
Yeah.
You know, you heap coals upon the fire. You're supposed to be a pillar of rest, but you made it to where you are a burden, and put hell upon the Israelite man. So now when the hell is coming upon you and you need a man to save you, that man is not going to be there, especially a man of the Lord. He's not going to be there.
That's it.
You're going to be left out there to your lovers. And you know how this sick society, you know how they get down.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be a lot of ravishing. It's going to be a lot of murder. It's going to be a lot of cutting you up, slicing you up, letting you. A lot of you women going to starve you and your children.
Yep.
You know, it's going to get real bad out here, man. Okay.
True.
That's why, hey, the scripture says, "Seek ye the Lord while he may be found." That goes for these women too.
Yeah.
You know, because how are you women going to be delivered? It's going to be through an Israelite man.
That's it.
All right, that's what the scriptures say, not what we saying by our own heart.
Right.
You know?
She shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in the faith.
That's it. It says, they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous city.
Yeah, the joyous city here is America. You know, and you gonna catch it, boy, are you gonna catch it?
Because the palaces shall be forsaken, the multitude of the city shall be left, the forts and the towers shall be left. The forts and the towers shall be for dens forever, a joy of wild asses, a pasture of flocks.
Yeah, that's all of your, your strongholds and the different things the comforts and the safety nets that Esau set up for you. That's all going to be stripped away from you. So you're not going to have anything to fall back on. You're not going to have, okay, if this fails, you're not going to have a plan B or a plan C. Because Esau's plan A got you in a place where you just so comfortable, you never even thought about catching hell. You never thought about, what if, I don't have this, what would I do? You never had to go into survival mode mentally in this society. So when Esau strips you of that, you're gonna be through. You're gonna be through.
Yeah, you're not gonna have a man to fall back on.
Beautiful.
Esau, he's the man to fall back on now. He's giving you, all your goodies, but he's taking that away.
Yeah.
So who you gonna call?
Right. You can't call on the so-called Negro man or black man. Why? Because you've been giving them hell the whole time. Talking about you got to do this, if you want to get with me, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to pay my bills, you got to put a ring on it, you got to,
Oh, they saying now you need to put a deposit to date them.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's bullshit. I said beautiful because I forgot about that.
You got to put a deposit to date me.
$1,000 deposit. So just to date the bitch before you even go out there.
No, this is why. That's it. I mean, but see, the judgment is going to be so intense,
right? Especially
upon women, because when there's judgment upon, there's judgment upon men, you be like, damn. But when heavy judgment befall upon a woman, it's almost like gut clenching. It's like there's an added layer of like, wow,
right?
Because in this society, women are like, there's special gifts, and they're untouchable, they're cute and they're beautiful, and here open the door for her. Right. So you see heavy judgment upon women, that's gonna be like, oh well, the Most High is moving.
Yeah, like her cigarette, if she smoked, even help her with her coat, treat her like a lady. No, but you know what? The punishment is gonna fit the crime. Ooh. And the punishment is gonna be unbearable to you because you put hell on everybody else. You got a funky ass attitude for no fucking reason. Here it is, this whole world caters to you, and you got a funky ass goddamn attitude on top of everything. But that's all right because that's going to serve for your demise and your destruction. Right. A proud spirit goes before a fall, or a haughty spirit goes before a fall. And the Lord is about to bring judgment upon you women, just like he brought judgment upon the Pope, and many others. You had anything else?
That was it.
So with that, we pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. Till the next time we say, Shalom.